Warning, the following video contains graphic descriptions of prison conditions that may be disturbing to some viewers. Before we get started, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you don't want to go to prison in Alabama. Alabama's prisons have long been a source of controversy, with accusations of overcrowding and inadequate health care for inmates. But what is really going on behind the walls of these institutions? According to experts, the situation is dire. Alabama's prisons are some of the most overcrowded and underfunded in the country, says John Pfaff, a law professor at Fordham University. Inmates are living in squalor and are not receiving the basic medical care they need to survive. The statistics are shocking. Alabama's prison system is at 170% capacity, meaning that there are almost twice as many inmates as there are beds. This leads to inmates being crammed into tiny cells meant for one person, with little to no room to move around. But it's not just the lack of space that's the problem. Inmates are also being denied basic necessities like food, water, and medical care. Inmates are going hungry because there's simply not enough food to go around, says Pfaff. And when they do get food, it's often spoiled or contaminated. Medical care is also a major issue in Alabama's prisons. Inmates are not receiving the care they need for chronic conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, and they're not getting treatment for serious illnesses like cancer. Dr. Homer Venters, the former chief medical officer for the New York City jail system, says that the situation in Alabama's prisons is dire. Inmates are dying from treatable conditions because they're not getting the care they need, he says. It's a human rights crisis. But it's not just the lack of medical care that's causing problems. Inmates are also being subjected to inhumane living conditions, with little to no access to basic necessities like clean water and sanitary facilities. In some facilities, inmates are forced to drink water that's contaminated with feces and other waste, says Venters. And they're being forced to use filthy bathrooms that are overflowing with waste. The situation is so bad that the Department of Justice has launched an investigation into Alabama's prison system. In a report released last year, the DOJ found that the conditions in Alabama's prisons violate the Eighth Amendment, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. Alabama's prisons are failing to provide humane conditions of confinement, and the state is deliberately indifferent to the serious medical and mental health needs of prisoners, says the report. But despite these findings, little has been done to improve the situation in Alabama's prisons. In fact, the state has been sued multiple times over the conditions in its prisons, but so far, no significant changes have been made. So what can be done to address this crisis? According to experts, there are several steps that need to be taken. The first step is to reduce the number of people in prison, says Pfaff. Alabama has one of the highest incarceration rates in the country, and that needs to change. But reducing the prison population is only part of the solution. Alabama also needs to invest in its prisons, providing the resources needed to improve living conditions and provide adequate medical care. And finally, there needs to be greater oversight of Alabama's prisons to ensure that inmates are being treated humanely and that their basic rights are being respected. Alabama's prison crisis is a stain on our society, says Venters. We need to take action now to address this crisis and ensure that inmates are being treated with the dignity and respect that they deserve.